Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to prevent a bamboo from spreading in a bed or a border when you don't have a root barrier in place. Let's get to it. With this variety, I do a yearly inspection of the root area to check for rhizomes and roots that are moving away from the central clump. I do this at the end of the growing season, then I know it's okay for the rest of the year. If you have a more vigorous growing variety, then I recommend checking multiple times a year. Now, a root inspection doesn't have to be time consuming. It's a mere observation of your bamboo and how much it has spread. As I only do this once a year, you can clearly see where the new canes have emerged and are also starting to emerge. These new shoots are coming through, and these ones that have developed throughout the year. You can also see new canes within the bamboo clumps. They're going to be okay and they're not going to spread. However, you may need to thin them out if it becomes too dense and clustered within there. To tell if it's a new cane of the year, there's a few telltale signs. It'll either be soft and flexible, the leaves may have not completely opened, or if it has hardened, then it'll have this powdered coating which you can quite easily tell apart the new canes from the old. So you want to go around and just check where the new canes are starting to emerge and come out where you don't want them. Now, as I said, this is quite a slow growing variety and it hasn't been a great year with this very dry weather we've been having. However, if you have a vigorous variety and you do have a good growing year, then roots and rhizomes can pop up 2, 3 or even 4 metres away from the central clump. So it's worth checking in the hedgerows and the flowers around. Once you've located all the canes and rhizomes that are around the outside of the bamboo, it's then worth getting yourself a nice big strong fork and slowly going around removing them all. You want to dig your fork in and gently pull up the bamboo. Giving it a shake, you want to be careful not to snap the root, as you want to follow that all the way back to the main plant, otherwise you'll get other shoots coming off of it if it doesn't all come out. So you can probably see there, that is the runner that the bamboo has sent, which is connected to this one. It's also worth pulling away any leaves or soil in front of it, as it could have sent another one further along. Okay. So, you can see there's quite a few runners coming off here. Oh, that one was just a rotten one. Anyway, this is the one we're following at the moment. That one obviously goes to that one. So, this one's come to this large section here. And then, as I said, it's always good to dig in front of it and around this section. As this one has sent another one all the way to here, and then that's going to be a new cane. So obviously going to dig all that up to stop it from growing anymore. So there was this previous clump that's obviously been cut, or obviously I've cut it just to maintain it, and I've just snapped it now. You can see that it almost appears dead on the surface, but a new shoot is coming out from the base, so just wanted to remove that clump. It's not necessary and not needed in that area, and stops a new runner appearing elsewhere. And by doing this every time, you're loosening the soil around the outside, so when it comes to next year and the year after, when new runners and rhizomes appear, the soil's going to be nicely tilled and turned over, so it's easier to get these guys out. This one that I'm digging up at the moment, it isn't a new bamboo cane, however a lot of runners have come off of that one. So I'm going to take that one out, back to there, so then in the future I don't have to worry about runners coming off that section. It will come back from a section further back. Now this cane here is a new cane. I don't want it too close to the edge there. It's within the centre clump, so I won't be digging it because I don't want to damage too much more of the roots, as I've done quite a lot of digging there. I'm just going to bring my loppers in, blade side facing down, bit of an angle, and we're just going to cut there. So when the reason for the angle is when the rain comes down, it can hit that and wash off. I usually like to cut just above one of those nodes there, so you can see it can kind of cap over and die there, rather than rotting and the rot go back into the root system. So that's kind of capped it off there. Right, another kind of tip that I like to say is, you know, stand over your bamboo. Put it between your legs or put it behind you, so you're not going to get bits hitting you in the face. Obviously there's this bamboo here, but the bits we're taking away are behind me, so I can just chop straight through there quite happily. And it's good to drag back any leaves or bark mulch or whatever you've got around your bamboo, just to see if there are any roots and rhizomes. They usually are on the surface, however there's no harm just doing a little dig like that, because you may find one that's snuck underground. So I've just started removing some of the leaf debris around here, and when I got over to this section I could see some root mass and feel a kind of bump, and obviously now exposing it, you can see that a rhizome, or runner has come this way. So it is quite beneficial to even leave the leaves there as a mass, because then the roots and rhizomes won't go down so deep, so you can see them on the surface. Also, there's a lot of nutrients in the leaf litter of bamboo. So I'm just pulling this one back, and in fact, where does it go? Right, so it's actually in the beech hedge, and this bamboo is on a boundary line, so we don't want this escaping. So this is just the tip, which is in the beech hedge. This is what you would see in Asian cuisine. You dice that up, sort of thing. That has no potential to regrow, potentially in a propagated environment, in some rooting hormone or something, but there's no actual roots on there, so you don't have to worry about that. Because, as I say, it is very subtle and soft. That's why it's eaten. So don't worry about if you snap those off. But if it does have roots on it, then you should worry and try and get it out. I recommend these kind of all metal forks for this sort of job. Otherwise you end up snapping and breaking a fork that you like. Anyway, there's a lot of bindweed here from the hedge there, but this, as you can see, it's quite a substantial root for a 1 year growth on a slow growing, clump forming variety of bamboo, and that's just 1 year's growth. So you've got to be careful. I do very much recommend putting a root barrier in. However, some situations like this, where it's already established, you've got no option but to do this, or remove it completely and reinstall a root barrier. Sometimes it can be quite handy actually to leave them to get this big, and you've got something to grip on to pull out the actual plant there. Once again, this one has a secondary runner. Off this runner there is a secondary one going this way. Once again, onto the boundary line. Already had quite a few from here, so actually this one has died off. However, it's healthy back to round about there, so you can see that probably would just die off there while that was in the ground. Then a new one would have shot up there. So in this example, a single runner has split off into 1, 2, 3 runners, which then could split off into 3 more next year, so on and so forth. So that's how it can become such an invasive plant if it's not monitored and it's not maintained. And that's them all done. Obviously I need to get in here with a rake, and I'm probably going to top this with some wood chip just to help retain some moisture down there and give them a little bit of a feed. Also tidies up the area and stops the weeds a little bit. You can see there is 3 individual bamboo clumps there, which I've gone round the whole circumference, digging around, getting out any of the new rhizomes that are in the wrong place, and that keeps them nice and maintained and under control when you don't have a root barrier. You also get a large amount of bamboo canes from it, which is really useful for tying up and supporting plants. That's it for this video. If you want to find more information, I'll put a link in the description box below of all my other videos on the topic of bamboo, including maintenance, installing a root barrier, and how to transplant and split them. If you found this video useful or entertaining, please help me out by giving me a like, a subscribe, and get chatting to me in the comments below. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.